Hi everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Debbie. This is my Crafty Den, and I am going to do another one of the Happy Humble Designs paint kits. The last one I did was the tropical plants one, and it was fairly complicated, but this one's just really easy. I think it's going to be really easy. It looks easy. So the kits are, this kit is $20 if it's not finished. I think you can get it for just a little more than that finished if you're not a painter. So go over to Happy Humble Designs on Facebook and give them a look. See, there might be something there that you like. But this is the kit that I am going to do, and it has this this one came with a picture. The picture shows one way to paint this. Of course you can paint this with whatever colors you want to. So what this kit comes with, you saw me take it out of the plastic bag, that's just how it comes. It comes with the round that already has the holes to hang, and it even comes with a piece of jute twine if you don't have any, so that you can tie a hanger on the top of it. It comes with this cutout that says sit and unwind, and of course it goes on the bottom and it goes right to here. So if I put it right so that it goes to the edge on both sides, this is where it's going to come to. So I am going to hold this down, and I'm going to put a pencil line there where that sits. So it is this raw wood on this side, but it's a little darker on this side, and I like the darker side, I think. I'm going to paint these. I haven't decided exactly on my colors yet. So this one will go here. My little lawn chairs, these little deck chairs, are going to go just like this. See, I said this is a really simple one. So my little deck chairs are going to go on like this, and my relax is going to go up here like this. Is that not the most adorable thing? I'm going to put my deck chairs like that. It shows putting them straight, so you could put them, let me do them that way and see if I like it better. Maybe like this. It kind of looks like they're sitting on a dock if they're all lined up like that. So maybe I do like this idea better of keeping them straight. So what I'm going to paint this with is, I have some light and dark blue that I'm going to paint on the bottom here under the sit and unwind. I am going to paint the sit and unwind and the relax white just like they have. It's not going to be very hard to paint this. I'm just going to do it just like this. I'm going to leave my round, and I'm going to use the plastic bag that it came with. I'm just going to put it down here. I'm going to grab my unwind. Let's turn this over so that white, I guess it doesn't matter. That white's going to show anyway. So I'm going to turn it over to the back of the bag. I'm just going to take my white paint. It's just the plain acrylic, the Crafters acrylics. You don't need chalk paint. You don't need anything expensive with this. I'm just going to put a little bit of white out on there. I'm going to get it on my paintbrush. And I'm just going to paint this. You don't have to even be careful. This is so easy to do. Like literally, you don't even have to be careful, because as long as you put something behind the piece that you're painting, it might be even easier to just pounce this on here. So make sure you just got it all covered. I might give this a second coat because I am using the cheapest paints that I have in my craft stash. And this will only take a minute to dry, so I'm just going to set it up there. I'm going to take the Relax. I'm going to throw it down here. So most of their kits, if you want to see how complicated the last one was, just go give that a watch. I did a lot of speeding up in that video because it was a complicated, long project for me to do. So give that 5 minutes to dry. And that's all that I'm going to paint white. I'm just going to grab a baby wipe and clean up my excess white paint. I might need another coat on those. I might not need another coat on those. So that's all cleaned up. And if you wanted to order one of these kits and it's the very first little DIY that you're doing, you want to give something a try, you can get one of these kits. This is the easiest one that I've had so far, and it's really cute for summer. Buy a white paint, a blue paint for your sitting lakeside. At least I'm assuming you're sitting lakeside on this. So give yourself maybe some blue paint. If you want to paint your background, go ahead and do that. I really think that you could paint almost the whole thing with this set of paints from Dollarama and a bottle of white paint. And instead of buying paintbrushes, because you might want to buy a set of paintbrushes, but they're a little bit more pricey. If you have some makeup wedges, use a couple of those. That's all you need. That's really all you need. So I've got my 4 lawn chairs here. So when I originally bought this, I thought this would look really great in red and white for Canada Day. But if you wanted to just go and buy, let me see what I have here. I've got Christmas red, just bright red. I think I'll do just bright red. This is from Dollarama, $2, I think, maybe $2.50 tops. So maybe I'll do my chairs red and have this for Canada Day. I think that would be sweet, sweet. I have a few other projects that I want to do for summer, so maybe Canada Day would be fun for this. Let me put out a little bit of red paint, grab a makeup sponge, saturate the end of this makeup sponge pretty good with this paint, and then just dab it on. So with your makeup sponge, it's less messy, but it also doesn't go on as thick. So I'm going to do one, but this is going to dry in just minutes. And because I'm putting it on, you're better off to put on a couple of really thin coats for your coverage. But look how fast this goes. I'm not speeding this up at all, guys. This is in real time, how long it takes to do this kit. And I thought I'd do that this time, not speed anything up, and just show you in real time how easy and simple these kits are to do. And I don't want to try to hide anything from you. I enjoy the kits from Happy Humble Designs so much because I can do my project. Everything is here except the paint. If you go to their paint night, if you're local and you go to their paint night, they supply the paint brushes, everything to clean up, everything to put it together, the glue, everything. So I'm going to just go through and put a second coat on. And 2 coats, I think, is all this is going to need. Just to look at the difference from that. It's soaked into that light pink, and 1 more coat is going to give it that nice red color that I want. This isn't a deep red. It's a bright red. The holiday red or Christmas red, when you get that, is a really deep red. But for Canada Day, I thought this red was just a little more appropriate. Of course, if all you've got's the Canada Day red, or not the Canada Day, the Christmas red, go ahead and use it. Don't buy 2 different reds if you're not painting a lot. I've got a lot of colors. I've been painting things for years, so I love doing stencils to make signs and layering the stencils. But since I found these kits, yeah, I just really love these kits. There, so my chairs are painted. I'm just going to set is there any spots that need just a little bit more coverage? I don't really think so, but before I set them right aside and clean this up, I'll use up the rest of the paint that I've got here on my table. So you saw I just poured out just a little daub of paint, and I got all 4 of those chairs done. And you don't even have to throw this away. Just take your scissors, cut that off, and you can use the rest of that sponge now. So there, cleaned up again, and I haven't made hardly any mess. Everything's on that white. Okay, I'm going to lift this up now, and I'm going to take my round, and remember I drew that line across the bottom of sit and unwind. I'm going to start with this blue. It's the darker blue. I'm going to grab a clean paintbrush. It'll just take a small paintbrush to do this. I'm going to put a little dab of this blue paint right there. And just up to the line. Maybe I need a piece of, so if you're worried about making a straight line, if you have any washi tape, I happen to have a roll of painter's tape right here because this is where I've been doing my craft painting, and I keep it here just for this. Let's get that straightened out. Tape that curls up, my gosh. Yeah, so I'm going to put it right on that line, on that pencil line, just so that I can see the pencil line. I'm going to pull it straight across, and then I don't have to worry. So if I push this down just along this edge, the whole thing doesn't have to be burnished down. But if you put that down really good, you actually shouldn't have any bleed underneath this. And take your brush when you're on your line and brush from your tape down like this to put your first layer of paint on. I'm going to put a paint layer really, really thin in this dark color. And then I'm going to wait 5 minutes and let this dry. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to let this dry for 5 minutes. So I'm going to set that up there. I just pile stuff around me when I've got stuff drying. But this isn't nearly as bad as it was when I was doing that one with all the different plant parts. Yeah, that one was a little bit harder. So I've got my white paint. I'm going to take my brush back. I'm just going to give it a quick rinse, take it back out of the water. And I always I've got old towels that are turned into rags, and I use them for this all the time. I'm going to take all the water out of my brush. Actually, no, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to continue painting with the sponge just to show you that you don't need paintbrushes. You don't even need paintbrushes. So let's get some white. Get it on there really well. Okay, I am going to just go and this is a little trickier. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I think in the case of this white, not having anything painted in the background, I want this to kind of pop. So I'm going to go around the inside of my letters with this. And I'm going to take just one, because I'm waiting 5 minutes for that other thing to dry anyway. Where the lake is supposed to be. That other thing. Oh, my words are so good today. Oh my gosh. This doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, this is a thinly cut piece of wood. These are all laser cut pieces. And this is not something that I could make myself because I don't have anything that will laser cut wood like this. So getting the kits at this price is really good for me. I can't even imagine the equipment. I mean, I don't have to imagine. I've seen pictures of the equipment that they have. They have an amazing studio where they do all of this work. So just enough to take away from that black look. The insides are the hardest part to do. And you don't have to do this. If you're painting with the sponge, it's really easy if you don't put too much paint on the top of your sponge to dab the top of this and not get any paint on the sides. If you want to just leave them. I know a lot of the ladies don't even bother with this part at all. So I'm painting today because we're on day 4 of weather that is, yesterday it was like 7 degrees Celsius here. It's been raining. We're on day 4 of cold, windy, terrible, just terrible spring weather. And it's past we just had the May long weekend. This is Tuesday. So But yeah, I didn't have anything else to do. So I decided, let me see if I can get just a little bit more on the front of this one now. And I'm painting with the same sponge that I painted my chairs red. So if you don't want any paint, I'm pushing hard to get the paint around in any of the little corners that I missed. But if you don't want the sides to be white, just make sure your sponge is fairly dry and then just pounce straight up and down. Don't push too hard and the paint won't go on the sides of your letters. It'll stay on top. So I'm just trying to give you any little hints. A couple of the ladies that have commented on these say that they don't do crafts, but they think they could possibly do this. And so I'm here to show you that it doesn't take very many supplies. You could just have your basic colors that you love in your house. I have a neighbor that paints these and she always uses a very soft blue, a bright yellow, and white when she's doing all of her kits, because that French country blue and yellow look is what she has in her house, and she always paints everything to match her decor, and it does turn out so lovely, just so lovely. So with this little bit of paint that I have here, I'm going to give this one just another coat, and I'm just pushing it down, and whatever I get on the sides, I'll be happy with that. I'm not going to try to get in all of these little letters, but I am going to do the top of the rail and the bottom of the rail. There, set it aside for another quick little dry and clean up my mess. I love using a plastic bag like this because everything wipes up off of this so much. I mean, I'm a messy crafter. You can see by what I'm doing that I'm a very messy crafter, and I don't care as long as the mess is on something that I can wash off. And quite often I'll just do it on my kitchen table, but it is a little bit harder to wipe up than this. And I'm just going to give my fingers a quick wipe with this as well. And I'm thinking that by the time I have my fingers wiped, I can grab this right here. And I'm going to take my light blue paint. Some of these paints I haven't used for a long time, so I'm just trying to bang the paint from the bottom up there. Now I'm going to take that little bit of sponge that I have left over. I'm going to put a little bit of paint on it. And I'm just going to rub on here. Just putting the tiniest dot. I'm working it into the, oops, don't get any on there. I'm working it in on that piece of tape, and then I'm just rubbing straight across. And that's going to give for me, just a little bit of life to that water. And then I'm going to pull it off like that, and that water's done. That's all I'm doing to that. So you don't have to be an artist to be able to do anything like that. That was just a background and some smushing white paint over top of it. So everything is painted. And then I'm just going to take my glue. And I do have to say, any glue will do when we go to our paint nights and do this in our group. All she has is craft glues like this, or craft paints like this, and white school glue. The LePage's white school glue is all she uses, and sometimes even just the no-name brand school glue. I am out of my school glue. I haven't been for a while to get anything. So I'm out of my school glue. I am just going to use a little bit of my art glitter glue that I broke the end off, and I hope that this doesn't come out of here so fast. You don't need very much. You really don't need very much of this. I'm just going to put, I don't even need it on all the letters. I'm just going to put it on some of the lines going up and down on here. Just a little bit. And do the T. And then just a little bit. Oops, that's too much. Comes out of there really fast. So art glitter glue is a really runny glue, but it has the teeniest tiny little point on the applicator. And I dropped my bottle of glue. I think if you watch any of my other videos, I think I've said this a couple times, but I'm so disappointed in myself that I did this. I literally dropped it on the floor, and it hit that tip and snapped. There's a metal applicator part that goes on here. It's screwed on. It sits on there like that, and snapped it off, but it snapped the plastic here, so it won't fit back on there. So this says sit and unwind, and I'm just going to put it right to that edge and right to that edge, and I'm going to try to get it straight on here, just like that, and I'm just going to push it down, and it'll stick on there, and it'll glue down. This wood is fantastic, whatever it is. It's fantastic, and it glues down so easily. Then I'm going to take my lawn chairs. You don't have to have glue, like I said, on the back of every little bit of these. These are not going to come back off. So a little bit there, just a dot, and a little bit at the top of these. And then I'm just going to, it doesn't have to even be that thick. I'm just going to run it down. Use your fingers. Get messy. My goodness. So I'm going to go right over to this side and put that one down. I'm going to try to space these. I'm going to go over to here and put this one down where I think it needs to go. Move that a little bit. It hasn't dried yet. Move it over just a little bit. Yeah, I get them spaced out. And then I'm going to glue down these ones. So you guys can see, like, this is a good craft to do. I haven't even had to get up from the table to do any of this. I think this will be the first completely unedited. This is just going to be a live craft. No editing. No editing. Oh my gosh. See, now I can't talk. Oh gosh. Put that one down. So yeah, see, I said I'm not going to edit. Now I don't want to talk because it's usually at this point in a video that I really start to babble. And a lot of times I'll just cut a lot of that out so you don't have to listen to it all. Like I haven't even put weight on these. I just pushed them down on that and they're sticking. So that's a lot of glue. Like you don't need nearly that much. It's just it comes out of that bottle now so fast. So I've got my 4 chairs. Let's just push that down there. This will dry like cement. And then I've got my relax. I'm just going to take the extra glue that came off of here and put it around. There's lots on my finger to do this. Way more than what I need. Let's get some of that gone. There. And then the relax can go at the top. Oh my gosh, that is so cute, so simple. And I love the fact that these pieces are raised. This craft glue will dry really fast. I mean, it's holding already. Nothing's going to fall off of here, but it'll take a few hours for it to actually cure. I think I like my red chairs better than this one, just because I do tend to do a lot of the red and the white in the summertime for the end of June, July, August. I mean, I celebrate Canada Day. I have a Canadian flag out hanging off the front of my deck. So this will be on my front door. Really cute. So all I'm going to do with this to make a hanger, I'm going to turn this over. Well, first of all, I'm just going to put this through here like this. Then I'm going to turn it over. Just the 2 pieces through from the front. And I want that to just come up just enough to catch the hanger on my front door. And just in case I want to change this later, I'm going to grab, I thought I'd better put that blue paintbrush that I stuck in the paint in my water before that paint starts to dry on there. I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to push it across here so that these don't stick out. And I have a little hanger on here to hang it on my door. And that is just how simple that kit is. Of all of the kits, this is absolutely the easiest. And this is the first round I've done. And I have to say, if you're looking for a really easy project, you could hang this. You could put this in like a plate stand and stand it on a shelf if you wanted to. But these kits, these rounds, to do them are so, so easy. So thumbs up for Happy Humble Designs. And yeah, I'm so happy. Go over, like I said, it's spelled just like it sounds. Happy Humble Designs. Go over to their Facebook page and give them some love. Let them know that Debbie sent you. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this little video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of these kits. I think they're amazing. These guys do such a good job. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love if you did that before you left so you can come back and see what else I'm up to. I'll see everyone in the next video. Until then, bye-bye for now.